8th grade, we are ready for lesson 6. We're moving right into section 2 and going to do more review. So today, noun clauses. We had noun clauses a long while ago. Hopefully you didn't forget, but we're going to review it. Okay, so noun clauses are those groups of words, as all clauses are, that have a subject and verb, but by themselves, they wouldn't function as a sentence. So they're a clause within a sentence, subject and verb pattern within a sentence that do a specific job. Today we're looking at those that are nouns, and they simply do the jobs that are nouns. So get to page 15, and we'll take right off and talk about noun clauses. All right, so you're there and you're with us, and so noun clauses. First thing they point out in the book is that often a noun clause begins with the word that. All right? But not always. Don't you love these exceptions? So what can it be? Well, you have a list of words that could begin noun clauses. So the relative pronouns often are those beginners. Subordinate conjunctions can begin noun clauses. So it can be a variety of words. You look for these kind of beginning words, but you need to really identify, if it's a noun clause, you need to think about how is it being used. So let's go to the top of page 16, right there, and we see all the things that a noun clause can function as. I found it interesting that they left one out. There's a reason why, and I'm just going to point out. So noun clauses can function as subjects, they can function as predicate nominatives, as direct objects, as objects of preposition, and the one they don't tell you about, and if you hang around, come back next year or the next, when you take English 1, you'll learn that they can also function as positives. Now the reason I don't tell you about positives is because positives are actually one that can be a little tricky. They look so much like an adjective clause that you almost can't tell the difference, but there is a way. And your 9th and 10th grade friends who are extremely brilliant, even they struggled a little bit, but we figured it out. And there really is a pretty easy way to tell the difference. So, but anyway, they thought you couldn't do it, but I bet you could. I don't know why they don't teach you about positives. But anyway, you will get it when you do English 1. And it's really not even very hard. So, let's just do a few examples. Well, maybe, yeah, let's just do a few examples. Let's work on numbers 1 to 6 there. And what we're going to do, you want to put a bracket around the noun clause. So look for that introductory word and put a bracket around the whole clause. And then in the blank, you put down, then you circle that introductory word. And then in the blank, put down what function it's doing in the sentence. Okay, let's go. Number 1. Okay, someone read it for us? Okay, I can't see you. Isn't this disgusting? Well, let's pray that it would end, okay? So hopefully soon it will. All right, so someone read it. I guess I'll read it. I wonder. Who parked his bike in the middle of the sidewalk? Subject is I, verb is wonder. I wonder. Who parked his bike in the middle of the sidewalk? Do you see the word who? Yes, that's the introductory word you're looking for. So I would circle it and bracket right in front of who. Who parked his bike at the end of the sidewalk? Go all the way to the end and another bracket. All right, so we got that part. We got the bracketed part, and we got the circle part. Now, what function? So you only need to pick from 4: subject, predicate nominative, direct object, or object of preposition. All right, do we need a subject in this sentence? I wonder. I don't think so. I'm not wondering because I think I know. I is the subject, so we don't need a subject. That's out. Do we have a predicate nominative? Okay, so if you have a predicate nominative, you're going to need a linking verb. I wonder. Wonder feels pretty action to me. So, predicate nominative is voted out. Could it be a direct object? I wonder. Excuse me. I wonder what? What is being wondered? Who parked his bike in the middle of the sidewalk? Excuse me, I need a drink. All right, back. Sorry about that introduction. So, yes, here we have a direct object. I wonder what is being wondered? Who parked his bike in the middle of the driveway and the sidewalk? Okay? So there you go. Number 2, let's look at that. And again, I guess I'll have to read it. Whether Thomas goes along with us to the ball game depends on his getting home from work on time. So you see one of those introductory words? Yes, weather. So circle weather, and that begins the clause. So put a bracket. Whether Thomas goes along with us to the ball game, bracket, bracket. So now you got weather circled, got it all bracketed. All right, so let's go through our discussion. Do we need a subject in this sentence? So let's find the verb. Depends is the verb. Thomas depends. Well, that was in the clause. What do you think? Yes, it is the subject of the sentence. So you need to put an S in the blank. Okay, so now what about objects of preposition? So they will be an object of preposition if they follow a preposition. So yes, look for those, and there is one coming right up. Really close. Okay, you're figuring that out. Okay, let's move on down below number 6 and get some more little points here. So, diagramming, I just, here's how you diagram, that's on the next page. So all noun clauses are put up on a pedestal. And what they're just giving you here between number 6 and number 7 is the reminder that the words that, whether, and if that, whether, or if is used as an introductory word to a noun clause, when you get ready to diagram it, it has no grammatical function in the sentence. It is simply that introductory word and has no other function. And so if you when you diagram it and you find that, whether, or if, you remember that you do this little trick, and I'm going to have to turn a little bit so you can get a good look at it. So you put it up on the pedestal, and you have the subject and verb, and then immediately above the line on the subject and verb, you did a little dot, 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 and put if, that, whether, or if up there. Okay, so all the other introductory words that you might find will have functions in the sentence. They'll fit somewhere. They may be the subject. They may be the direct object. They may be something else. And in fact, that's what you're going to do next, is a little bit of practice along that line. So let's look at 7, 8, and 9. Okay, you're doing almost the same thing with one exception. You're finding the subject and the verb inside the clause. And you're not telling what part the whole clause is doing. So now in 7, 8, 9, you're supposed to find the noun clause, bracket it, circle the introductory word, so same thing that we did in 1 through 6, but now underline the subject once and the verb twice inside the clause. Okay, so let's do number 7. I'll do whatever you say. All right, so you saw the clause, whatever you say. That should be bracketed, and by the way, what does that clause do? I'll do, yep, direct object. So I'll do whatever you say, circle whatever. Now let's look at how we would diagram whatever you say. What is the subject? You. So underline you once, say, underline say twice. And in this case, whatever would be a direct object inside the clause. So, there we go. Okay. Let's go now do a diagram. So let's go do number 11. And you know what? I didn't practice this one. So, hope we can do it. All right, let's try. Okay, so we're going to do number 11, that Peter walked on water was a miracle. Okay, so you found the clause, that Peter walked on water. And what function is it going to do? Well, I see the verb is was, but I don't see a subject. I think we need a subject here. So we're going to start off like this, and you all use your rulers and do such a nice job. I appreciate that. And so we'll have this, and we're going to need to make our pedestal. Okay, so the subject of our clause would be Peter. Peter walked. Where did he walk? On water. Okay, so we have the word that. Remember that, whether, and if have no other function. So we're going to stick it right here. Goes. Okay, so we're ready for our verb was, and now we're going to put miracle as a predicate nominative, I think is what I'm going to call it. I'm going to make sure I spell it wrong. There we go. Okay, so how you like that? Looks pretty good. Now, do you notice how to do the object of preposition? I'm sure you remember that. But if you have an object of preposition, you need to do like this. So if you had, say, this, and then you would go up here and put it here. So you would put your preposition here, such maybe the word to, and then put the noun clause up here. Okay, I think that should get you on your way. And then you have, we remember, you have elliptical clauses, predicate nominatives, and adverb infinitive phrases. So work on those. And again, when you score, make sure you go back and figure out what you did wrong when you missed something. And if you can't figure it out, please call me. And I want to try to help you figure that out. So thanks again for listening and doing your work so well. Have a good day.